Welcome to the most realistic Diecast Monster Truck Racing channel on YouTube as we get set and ready for week 4 of the September season. Here tonight on Thursday Night Thunder against 16 of the baddest monster trucks are going to be throwing it down here tonight. Here's a look at how round one's breaking down. Sudden Impact taking on Metal Militia, and then the Gravediggers coming in to take on Inferno. And that's how we're getting round one action kicked off. And right now, Charlie Hubbard out of Frackville, Pennsylvania, and the Sudden Impact Ford ready now to take on 𝐃𝐿𝐴 in the all-new Metal Militia, who we saw him get a win on Smashdown a couple of weeks ago. He's trying to get a Thunder Championship here tonight, but he's got to go through one of the backyard beasts. Charlie Hubbard, Sudden Impact, now staged on the inside lane. A battle of the Ford Oval Brigade. The green light goes down, side by side up over the first jump now, and Sudden Impact in trouble. He turns it over in the shutdown area as Metal Militia was giving him a run for his money right on down to the wire. As we go back and check out the MTA replay, off the line, they're pretty much side by side down that straightaway. Up now over the first jump. You see Sudden Impact starting to pull a slight lead in the air. He gets the job done, but gets into trouble down there after they cross the finish line. Over he goes. Hopefully they'll have that truck back and ready for round 2. But right now, coming to the line in round 1 is the Phenom, the 17-time Thursday Night Thunder champion, Rich Wagner, returning in the Gravedigger. He's going to go one-on-one with Louis Jimenez in the Inferno Astro van over here on the inside lane. Louis out here trying to get his very first Thunder Championship, but he draws up a hard task. Here's the green light. Gravedigger and Inferno down the straightaway. Gravedigger with a slight lead. Inferno trying to come back on the maneuver. He goes on the inside lane, much like we just saw Sudden Impact in the previous round. Louis Jimenez has turned it over, but we're going to have to go back down and check out the MTA photo finish. Your winner in round 1, Rich Wagner and the Gravedigger. He'll pull it out here tonight over Louis Jimenez and Inferno. Moving right along inside of round 1, the lower left-hand side of your screen, we're going to see how the bracket shakes down. Iron Warrior set to take on Virginia Giant, and then the Dungeon of Doom's back. He'll be taking on Executioner out of the Crush This Race team. And coming to the line right now is Brian Blank and the Virginia Giant Ford, hailing out of Winchester, Virginia, now getting ready to take on Cam Blank out of Hagerstown, Maryland, in the Iron Warrior Ford. So another matchup here tonight between two Ford ovals, one out of Hagerstown, Maryland, the other one out of Winchester, Virginia. We're going to see who's going to be moving on into round 2 competition here tonight. Both trucks are staged. Here's the green light now. Virginia Giant with a hole shot, but Iron Warrior's right there with him now in trouble. Cam Blank upside down in the shutdown area, and what a hard lick right there by Virginia Giant, trying to get the truck shut down before hitting the wall protection. What a wild ride it was for the Iron Warrior. We go back and look at the MTA photo finish. It came down to inches right here, but Virginia Giant gets the win here tonight over the Iron Warrior machine. Next up here tonight, Tyler McLean, who made his MTA debut at the top of the season. The all-new Dungeon of Doom hasn't done too well out here on the circuit right now. He's getting ready to take on Nathan Smith and the Crush This Race team in Executioner. There you see him over there on the outside lane. He's been improving here these last couple of weeks. We'll see what he's got against the Dungeon of Doom, who's now ready to go on the inside lane. Stage at the line, the green light goes down. Executioner with a hole shot. Dungeon of Doom now trying to come back on the big end, unable to come up with it, as Nathan Smith and Executioner will advance on in a round 2 competition here tonight. The Dungeon of Doom, unfortunately, on the trailer once again. Now the upper right-hand side of your screen, we're taking a look at more round 1 action. It's Jim Cartwright and 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐴 going to take on the Soldier Fortune, and then we're seeing Surf Monster come back to take on Bigfoot. And right now, Nicholas McCammon, the new kid on the block, and Soldier Fortune made his debut at the top of the season. He's ready now to take on Jimmy Cartwright and the 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐴, who got his first win on Revolution a couple of months ago. He's trying to get back in victory lane here tonight, but this time on Thursday Night Thunder. We're going to see who's going to be moving on in the round 2 competition. 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐴 taking on Soldier Fortune. One of them's going on the trailer stage. Here's the green light now. Off the line they go. Shaker's got a slight lead, but Soldier Fortune right there with him. And Jimmy Cartwright laying down a smooth pass here tonight to get things started in week 4 of the September season. The 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐴 will advance into round 2 action. Up next here tonight in round 1, it's the return of John Trimboli in the all-new Surf Monster, another driver who made his debut at the top of the season. He will now take on Downtown Mitch Brown, the now 10-time Thursday Night Thunder champion. He's been battling it out with Jimmy Ferguson and Avenger all season long. He now draws up against Surf Monster here tonight in round one. We're going to see who's going to be advancing on into round two. Bigfoot and the Surf Monster stage at the line. Here's the green light. Off the line they go side by side. A good race up and over the cars now. What a matchup as Bigfoot hits the van stack in the shutdown area, and John Tramboli getting a little squirrely down there as well, getting into Dungeon of Doom down there in the shutdown area. What a matchup it was between rookie and veteran. We go back and look at the photo finish. Your winner, look how close that is going to be Downtown Mitch Brown and Bigfoot. He'll pull it out here tonight over the Surf Monster. But now we get set and ready to close out round one action. Lower right-hand side of your screen, the Ball Skaters back to take on Vendetta. And then we're going to see Colt Cobra and Snakebite trying to get a shot at the champion, Jimmy Ferguson and Avenger. But right now, Austin Spence inside of the Ball Skater, another driver out of the Crush This race team, gets ready to go against New Kid on the block. Jack Tramboli and the Vendetta Machine, the 41 Willies, now staged on the outside lane over here, trying to get a big-time win. Austin Spence, one of the most consistent drivers out here on the MTA circuit here tonight. We're going to see what he's got against the New Kid on the block in Vendetta. Stage, here's the green light. Ball Skater and Vendetta are down the straightaway. The Gator with a slight lead. Here comes Vendetta on the inside, and over goes Tramboli in the shutdown area. What a great matchup here tonight. Again, another matchup of rookie versus veteran, and Vendetta will turn it over. The inside lane's been wreaking havoc on these trucks in the shutdown area portion of the track. We go back and check out the MTA replay. As you see down the straightaway, the Boss Gator now slightly down the inside lane. Here comes Vendetta now, gets a big time air over the cars, and he will pull out the victory over the Boss Gator here tonight. What a matchup, as Boss Gator had a lead on him all the way down, but Vendetta closed the gap in midair. He gets the big time win in round one. And speaking of round one, it's time to close things out as Colt Cobra returns in the Snakebite Machine out of the Crush This race team. He's going to be taking on the reigning and defending Thursday Night Thunder champion, Jimmy Ferguson and Avenger, the 57 Chevy out of Columbus, Michigan. Now staged over here on the inside lane, the 540 cubic inch Chevrolet motor underneath that truck. Ford power plant on the outside. Here comes Snakebite on the inside, but Ferguson laying down the power on the inside lane. Jimmy Ferguson got caught sleeping at the line as Colt Cobra treated him, but Avenger is your winner here tonight in round one, and the flag will stay on the back of Avenger for the rest of the night so far, as Snakebite will go on the trailer. And as we just saw, Jimmy Ferguson and Avenger will keep the flag moving into round two. Here's how that's breaking down. Charlie Hubbard and Sudden Impact will take on the Gravedigger. And then we're going to see Virginia Giant go one-on-one with the Crush This Executioner. And coming to the line right now to get us started in round two, the Phenom returns. Rich Wagner and the Gravedigger. He's looking for victory number 18 here tonight on Thunder. He will now take on the Backyard Beast native, Sudden Impact. Charlie Hubbard behind the wheel all the way out of Frackville, Pennsylvania. So a good matchup here tonight between Ford and Chevrolet. The Gravedigger takes on Sudden Impact. Stays at the line. Here's the green light down the straightaway. The Gravedigger with a hole shot. Sudden Impact coming back on him. Over he goes. Hubbard turns it over for the second time tonight, trying to lay it on the line against the Gravedigger. Rich Wagner wasn't cutting him any slack over on the outside lane. What a wild crash here tonight for Sudden Impact. We go back and look at the MTA replay. Off the line they come. Gravedigger has the early lead down the outside lane. Here comes Sudden Impact now, shooting for the stars, puts down the Ford horsepower, shoot out to the finish line, and Sudden Impact will pull out the win over the Gravedigger by inches here tonight. But here's where the story gets undone as he hits the van stack. Over he goes. Charlie Hubbard with the second rollover here tonight for that truck and that team. They're going to be down there in the pits thrashing, because right now our MTA track crew and officials are down there to roll Sudden Impact back over, and it looks like he's got a lot of body damage. So the Backyard Beast race team again has some work to do. They're hoping to be back and ready for semifinal competition. They're still in this thing. Sudden Impact still running strong. And right now coming to the line next in round two, the Crush This Executioner, Nathan Smith behind the wheel. He's been looking more dominant than ever. He's been picking up the momentum here in recent weeks. He now takes on Brian Blank and then Virginia Giant Ford out of Winchester, Virginia. He's ready to go on the inside lane. We saw him take out Iron Warriors here tonight earlier in round one. Both drivers stayed. Executioner and Virginia Giant. Executioner with a lead on Virginia Giant now. Trying to come back on him on the big end. Gets it shut down into the wall. What a great race it was between the GMC and the Ford here tonight. We're going to have to go back and look at the MTA photo finish. Your winner in round 2 is going to be Brian Blank and Virginia Giant. Look how close that race was. He gets it done by mere inches here tonight. And now we get ready to close out round 2 action. Looking at the other side of the bracket, it's the return of Jim Cartwright in the shaker machine. He'll be taking on Bigfoot. Then Vendetta gets a shot at the champion, Jimmy Bones Ferguson in Avenger. And right now, downtown Mitch Brown and Bigfoot returning to the line, looking for an 11th championship out here on Thunder here tonight as he takes on Jim Cartwright. Again, he's only been out here a couple of months, making a good name for himself in the 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 shaker, based out of Delmar, Maryland over here on the inside lane. He's going to be taking on the big bad Ford out of Pacific, Missouri on the inside. Green light goes down now. Bigfoot with a big time lead. Here comes the shaker on the inside. Over he goes in the shutdown area. What a ride for Jimmy Cartwright. And again, the inside lane has been wreaking havoc out here on these trucks, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about the most in-depth, realistic Diecast Monster Truck racing. As you can see down the straightaway in our replay, Bigfoot had the lead on him. Cartwright now on the inside, trying to make a big comeback. Unfortunately, got bobbled up in the last of the cars. Over he goes inside of the shutdown area, and Bigfoot will come away with a win. Our MTA track crew and officials are down there now. Jimmy Cartwright out of the truck, waving to the fans. That's not what he wanted to do here tonight. He would have loved to have gotten a big upset against Bigfoot here in round 2, but there is always next season. As you see, the damage done to the 𝐾𝐨𝐧'𝐭 shaker here tonight to close out round 2 competition. And now we get ready for the final race of round 2. We're going to see the return of Jack Trimboli and Vendetta. He's made it to the final round showdown just a couple of times out here on Thunder. The new kid on the block, again making a name for himself. He will now take on Jimmy Bones Ferguson in that awesome looking 57 Chevy Avenger, the reigning and defending Thursday Night Thunder champion. We talked about it a little bit earlier. He's been duking it out with Mitch Brown and Bigfoot all season. Here they go down the straightaway. Avenger with a big time lead, and Trimboli trying to come back on him on the big end. Vendetta, one of the stronger trucks in the field here tonight. The new kid on the block put a hurting on the champion right there in the second round. As we go back and look at the MTA photo finish, your winner, Jimmy Ferguson and Avenger will pull it out by inches here tonight. The champion remains on top as Vendetta gave him one heck of a run right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now we look at how semifinal action is going to be shaken down. We're down to 4 trucks. Sudden Impact will be taking on Virginia Giant, and then Bigfoot will take on Avenger. The rivalry is renewed. But first, we're down in the pit area. Now you see the Sudden Impact crew, the Backyard Beasts, are getting that body back and mounted on the Sudden Impact machine. He's turned the truck over twice here tonight. He's going to try to keep it back on all 4s for the remainder of the evening as he goes in the semifinals to take on Brian Blank in the Virginia Giant Ford. He's ready to go. We saw him take out Iron Warrior in the first round here tonight. He's now ready. He's looking for his very first Thunder Championship, as is Charlie Hubbard and Sudden Impact. So both these drivers would love a big-time win out here tonight. Who's going to the finals? Both truck stage. There's the green light down the straightaway, side by side. Sudden Impact with a big-time lead. Over goes Virginia Giant. The inside lane strikes again. What a dandy matchup. Sudden Impact pretty much had him dead to rights down the straightaway. Virginia Giant trying to come back on him on the big end. Did not come up with it. Here's a look at the MTA replay, ladies and gentlemen. Sudden Impact on the outside has a good hole shot. Virginia Giant trying to make up the ground on the inside lane. Gets bobbled up on the last set of cars. He cartwheels the truck in the shutdown area. And Sudden Impact will come away the victor. Who is he going to be meeting in the final round showdown? As downtown Mitch Brown goes one-on-one with Jimmy Ferguson here tonight. Again, the rivalry is renewed. It has been the Mitch Brown and Jimmy Ferguson show all season long. In the month of September, Bigfoot and Avenger is what the fans have been talking about. These two have been dominant all season long. This time they meet up in semifinals, flag on the line. Here's a green light down the straightaway. Bigfoot with the lead. Avenger trying to come back on him now. What a great matchup it was. And I think Mitch Brown and Bigfoot got the better of the two here tonight. And again, these guys have been going tit for tat all season long. The story has revolved around Avenger and Bigfoot. There you see the MTA photo finish. Your winner, downtown Mitch Brown and Bigfoot. He is moving on into the finals, and we're going to crown an all-new champion here tonight. Charlie Hubbard and Sudden Impact out of the Backyard Beast race team, set now to go one-on-one with Downtown Mitch Brown and Bigfoot out of the Renegades Motorsports race team. It's going to be a battle of the Ford Oval Brigade. Mitch Brown and Bigfoot trying to put the Renegades back on top in the September season, but Charlie Hubbard and Sudden Impact looking for his very first Thunder Championship for the Backyard Beast. Here's the green light down the straightaway. Bigfoot with the lead. Sudden Impact coming back on him. What a matchup here tonight in the final round showdown. The Backyard Beast taking on the Renegades. Sudden Impact and Bigfoot putting on a clinic here tonight in the final round showdown. A race way too close to call from up here in the booth as we go back and check out the MTA replay. Off the line, Bigfoot with a huge lead down the straightaway. Charlie Hubbard and Sudden Impact were trailing up and over the first jump now. Sudden Impact puts down the horsepower. A shootout to the finish line. Look at that by mere inches. Sudden Impact gets the win over Bigfoot here tonight. He gets his very first Thunder Championship. What a great dandy matchup it was to close out the September season. But ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner here tonight, and now a one-time Thursday Night Thunder champion, Charlie Hubbard and Sudden Impact. And the Backyard Beast will get their first win out here on Thunder in quite some time. He is your winner here tonight and will take the flag on into the all-new October season. Things are going to be changing up for October. We hope to see you out there. Thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Be sure, if you haven't already, crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you down the road. Bruce, that's good stuff.